Hey guys, I'm here with Tim Moody of Pan Global Resources in Spain. We've come up to look at their projects. In fact, I'm standing in front of the big town hall, and as you can see, quite pro-mining it looks like, Tim.
Yes, very much so. I mean, this is a mining town.
Yeah.
It's on the edge of a big open pit, which is really almost a stone throw from where we're standing right now.
It's phenomenal. We drove here from Seville, and we saw the first quantum project, we saw a group of Mexico project. I mean, as beautiful countryside, I have to say, oranges, avocados, and olive trees. I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous. But first and foremost, mining.
Yeah,
definitely is that. So, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah, so Pan Global has been active in Spain for about 5 years.
Right.
So we're actually within what we call our Escacena project. Yeah, we have I guess 3 main projects in Spain, but this is our flagship project, the Escacena project. We're primarily focused on copper exploration. We do have some other metals. Escacena being our flagship project, we have a discovery called La Romana.
Yep.
We now have over 180 drill holes. It's close to a resource now. It's about 1.5 kilometres long. It's still growing. We've started things like environmental baseline studies. We've already completed quite advanced metallurgy work. We're now doing mine costing and all those sorts of studies, sizing, what size of plant we might need. All of that work's underway at the moment. And then we're also sort of working on another discovery called Cañada Honda. So we've been drilling there. We've got 16 holes completed on that. And that's just 4 kilometres away from La Romana. And then we've got this pipeline of other, excellent opportunities where we fully expect we're going to make additional discoveries.
Well, we'll talk about Bravo in a second, because I think you've started something there. So making discoveries, you're in the right district, that's for sure. Yeah. A long history of companies finding metals in the ground here, for sure. And obviously, it's, refer to that it's made it easy for you by having us a pro-mining region as well. Can we talk about your background just briefly? Yeah. How did you sort of come to this? In fact, where were you before? What have you done in the past?
Yeah, so I've been in the mining industry really since I was 16 years old. So I won't tell you how old I am now, but let's say I've been in
more than 10 years experience.
Yeah, it's over 40 years in the mining industry. I spent 24 years with Rio Tinto, 18 years in exploration. I was the director of exploration. And then I worked in business development. And then when I left Rio Tinto, soon after that, I joined Pan Global. And really one of the first areas we came to was here in the Iberian Pyrite Belt at our Escacena project. And in fact, we had extraordinary luck. The first drill holes on the first target were discovery holes. And we haven't looked back since then. But I guess a long period history in exploration around the world. I've been very fortunate, made a number of discoveries in different parts of the world. So, I've got a very experienced team behind me.
Well, tell us a bit about them, because I've been looking to meet a few of them, even talk to them as well last night and this morning. Yeah. In this sweltering heat. Which I'm struggling to cope with. 40 degrees, too much. Where have they come from? How do you pick them up?
Yeah, so it's primarily a local team. I think 95% of the team are Spanish, and everyone sort of lives close to the project here where we're standing. So, we have I guess 3 mining engineers on our team, which is a little unusual for a junior.
Why that makeup? That was interesting.
It was deliberate. Our general manager, Juan Garcia Valador, is a mining engineer. He had 18 years with Rio Tinto. Yeah. He's taken projects from exploration through pre-mining right through to development and mine closure. A lot of open pit mining experience, etc. But being Spanish, knowing the system, I felt that was very important for us. As we move our discovery through the steps to eventually becoming a mine, I felt it was important to have someone with his depth of experience and reputation early on, so that we can build the relationships with the administration.
So also met Barbara. Now, she's worked on quite a few of the projects around here as a mining engineer as well. That must help.
Yeah, absolutely. So Barbara brings another aspect to the whole mining engineering side of it, but also having worked on a number of the operations around the area, that brings additional knowledge that will be helpful for us as we continue to move the project forward. And then we've got Alvaro Marino, who's our VP of exploration. Alvaro's a geologist and a mining engineer, so he's both. So and he's worked in both, but Alvaro's got a lot of experience in exploration, and that's primarily what he's responsible for, is leading the exploration team. He's worked in South America, worked throughout Spain and so on, and very skilled operator. And we have an excellent team.
Right, and it's got to be for a purpose. There's got to be a business imperative here. So you guys, explorers, make discoveries, history, track record of doing that. You've done it here.
Yeah.
To what end? How far do you take this thing?
Yeah, so I guess, as I said, focused on copper. We've built this sort of pipeline of opportunities. At the top of the tree is our La Romana discovery, which is very close to having a resource. Yeah. And then we have the next tier, which is the second discovery, Cañada Honda, and then we have the others coming along behind that. So we're moving La Romana closer to a resource. We've been focused on drilling and delineating the resource this year, and more particularly the western extension of the La Romana discovery. We think it's still open at the moment. We think it could grow another 300 or 400 metres. That gets us close to 2 kilometres of strike length. So it's already getting some pretty significant dimensions. Right. Near surface, copper mineralisation. So we'll try and move that to a resource, and I expect we'll have a PEA, a preliminary economic assessment, either at the same time as we announce a resource or very soon thereafter. And look, we're prepared to take the project all the way forward through to development if that's the way it turns out. That said, being a copper company, having copper resources in a copper mining area surrounded by bigger operators, we're, as I say, we're right next door to Grupo Mexico and their subsidiary Mineral Australis. They're the fourth or fifth largest copper producer in the world. Yeah. So it looks like they'll be starting a new underground mine development. Yeah. Right next door to us.
Just nearly permitted, is that right?
Yeah, they just got their what they call the ALC, which is the environmental permit. Yeah. So with that now, it's now up to get the formal authorisation to allow them to commence construction on the new mine. So that's within 6 kilometres of La Romana. Yeah. It's within 4 kilometres of our other discovery, Cañada Honda. Yeah. And then we have some others that are even closer than that. So
you've got an Escacena nearby as well?
Well, Escacena is the original Rio Tinto mine, is where they're operating, where the Rio Tinto company began, which was in Spain.
Interesting.
That's the world's largest volcanogenic massive sulfide deposit by some margin, actually. Yeah. So that's about 25 kilometres in a straight line from our Escacena project. And we've got Grupo Mexico right next door to us, and then a little further over, about 12 kilometres from our property, is Las Cruces. The Las Cruces mine was one of the world's highest grade open pit copper mines that's being operated by First Quantum. We're in pretty good neighbourhood, and as you saw driving in here, great infrastructure, etc.
So you're surrounded by giants.
Yeah.
For a company like you, that gives you optionality in terms of making yourself attractive to them potentially with their infrastructure, their balance sheets, and so forth. How far away are you from sort of being able to help us, not just understand the economics, but maybe the scale of the opportunity?
Yeah. Well, I think people have got an idea of that anyway. It's a very simple geometry, very simple deposit at La Romana. It's not folded, it's not faulted, it comes to surface, it's tabular. So it's an ideal geometry for an open pit. So most people can do the sum pretty quickly just based on what we publish. Look, I think with the delineation drilling we're trying to complete at the moment on the western end of Romana, once we've completed that, we'll be ready to put out a resource.
Okay.
So,
That's exciting.
we're talking, I think unlikely before the end of the year, but it depends how fast we can get the drilling completed. Otherwise, sometime in next year.
So it's not too far away.
Not far away.
And I think people kind of, once you've got a resource on it, people get a sense of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Once you put the PEA out there, people really get a feel for this. Are you at all... I've kind of, in this market, it's been a really sort of tricky market for juniors across the world, whichever exchange you're on. Cash is hard to come by; it's expensive when you get it. But people are changing their business model and their business plans to adapt to this new environment, new reality that we're in. For you, you're happy to kind of hold your course, as it were, in terms of the timing? You don't feel the need to delay it.
Well, it's a bit of a balancing act. You want to manage your treasury, manage your cash.
Yeah.
Particularly in this environment, money's hard to come by at the best of time.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure you're using it very effectively.
Yeah.
But you can't just stop exploration. We're an exploration company. We're in the exploration business, so you want to give people reason to invest, and we try and do that with the drill rig. And I think we've been successful doing that. We've been drilling pretty much non-stop for 4 years.
Yeah.
So we'll have a pause now because we're coming into August now, and it's the hottest time of the year.
It really is.
Yeah. So it'll be 40 Celsius here today. So. Yeah, it's a case of just managing our cash at the moment. Hopefully the good times will be back, and we start to see more recognition of the results we've been generating, and get the share price moving again, and then I think we can start to build a treasury up, and then look at having multiple drill rigs operating once again.
Okay. And talk to me about what's going on at Bravo, because the sort of press release came out literally this morning about what you've been doing there and what you hope the potential is for.
So again, Bravo is just one of the many targets we have in our Escacena project, and we've probably got a dozen or so that are still untested. No drilling. This really is grassroots exploration. So Bravo it's a big gravity anomaly, and gravity is a geophysics technique, a tool, very useful tool in this part of the world.
Yeah.
Measures density contrasts, and massive sulfide lends itself to producing gravity anomalies, and a number of discoveries in this area have been found by directly drilling gravity anomalies. The Las Cruces, Los Frailes right next door to us, and our own La Romana discovery was found by drilling gravity.
Get into the detail, if you don't mind. Explain the process in a way that maybe some folk who aren't technical could understand.
Yeah, so basically you're collecting measurements on the ground based with a tool measuring the density, Earth's density, gravitation pull, I guess it is, measuring density, and you're measuring density contrast. So if you've got sort of heavy, dense mineralization, say, like a massive sulfide deposit, that can produce a density contrast with the surrounding rock. So that's really what you're looking for. So
that shows you the potential of how much metal is there.
Potentially,
But what else do you need to use with that process?
So that can give you something to focus on,
right?
And then you try and use other exploration tools to help. Let's say rank and prioritize, such as soil geochemistry, geological mapping, other forms of geophysics. Whether it's electrical geophysics, IP, measuring chargeability, these sorts of tools, and then you try to build. You have a number of, indicators that coincide. That increases the priority and gives you more confidence, and then you try and build a three-dimensional view with the ground geophysics, and then before you drill.
See, most retail investors don't understand it. They don't value that. They think it's cheap, therefore it can't be good. But for you guys as certainly the geologists, and you get quite super excited about this because why?
Well, drilling is probably your most expensive part of your exploration toolkit, but it's the most valuable because that's really they call it the lie detector for good reason. That's where you really test whether your concepts and your techniques are right or not, and that you've got mineralization. So the other tools help build that confidence before and help you to best position the drill rig so that you're using your drill dollars most effectively. So it's really important, the exploration work, the gravity zeroes you in on in this area, on an area. Then you try and you add the other layers of information like this geochemistry or and other geophysics, etc. And then you build that three-dimensional view of what it might be, and then you position the drill rig and test it. And we've been fortunate more often than not. When we go and test our targets, we're either hitting mineralization, or we're hitting the alteration or the indications where we're close to mineralization. So Bravo, if I come back to Bravo. We announced early last week, I think, that we began exploration on the Bravo target. So why is that attractive to us? So it's another big gravity anomaly. Now, the only information we had on that target was from an early 1980s gravity survey, which there was a fairly coarse survey, readings every 200 metres. But that was the same data we used to generate the La Romana target before we drilled it. So in that same data set, we've got this other big gravity anomaly just 1.5 kilometres to the east of La Romana, what looks to be on the same geological trend. And it's a bigger, more prominent gravity anomaly. It's a couple of kilometres long, by a kilometre north-south. And so given the success of drilling gravity anomalies in this part of the world, this is a pretty high priority target. Not only because it's a big gravity anomaly, but because of its location with respect to La Romana and the likelihood there could be a long trend. So we've been pretty excited about that target. It took us a while to get on the ground there. We're finally there, and the news out today is that we've made really quick progress on with the exploration. We've got a team active there collecting, doing an extensive soil geochemistry program, and we've also got a gravity crew out there collecting gravity data. So we're probably a bit over halfway through the planned soil geochemistry program, and we're probably 30 to 40% through the planned gravity survey. So from that information already, as I've put in today's news, is we've seen an anomaly, a lead-zinc anomaly, very clearly, very coherent, right over the Bravo gravity anomaly. So that's very good news for us. So that's another layer.
Yeah. What does that suggest? And so these they sort of tend to sit on sort of sulfides. Is that right? Break it down for us.
Okay. So the hope is that the gravity anomaly might be representing massive sulfide mineralization. So there's no rocks sticking out of the ground there. We've got what we call a post-mineral cover, so a younger sediment sitting over the top of it, masking all the rocks. So we can't see the mineralization because we've got this material over the top. So we're using soil geochemistry as another tool to see, well, is there any geochemical signature to go with the gravity anomaly? Of course, when you're dealing with a post-mineral cover, a younger cover sediment, it may not be able to see through that cover and give you some geochemical expression. But fortunately, we are seeing this sort of very coherent lead-zinc anomaly, exactly where you would hope it to be if that gravity anomaly is related to mineralization. Now we've got some evidence that there is there's metal, there's lead and zinc.
Yeah.
So that's got to come from somewhere. So our hope is that that's probably from the weathering of underlying sulfide mineralization that's then somehow being sort of worked to the surface. And when we collect the soil samples, we use a handheld portable XRF instrument analyzer to measure the metal content, and that's what we've.
But what else is it? I mean, we talked about Barbara earlier and her experience in the region and so forth. In terms of whether it be external data points or your own data points, that kind of layer of lead zinc, is it indicative of anything else deeper down?
Well, that's the hope. So these massive sulfide deposits are quite often zoned. Yeah, they have a copper core, and then you have a lead zinc either peripheral to that or above.
Right.
Or some they call polymetallic, or the copper, lead, and zinc together. So what we're seeing is lead zinc at this stage, not so much copper. That may be because they're a bit more mobile, those metals, but it also is consistent with us sitting on the edge of this possible massive sulfide. So we've got the lead zinc.
That'd be a bit exciting.
And then hopefully that zones into a copper system, and the gravity anomaly is a big massive sulfide of us. Of course, we don't know yet, but now we've got two bits of evidence.
Yeah.
One is the gravity anomaly itself. Now we've got metals showing up in the soil geochemistry. We'll complete the detailed gravity survey, and that'll give us better resolution. We'll be able to model that. And then we'll do some IP, some induced polarization, ground geophysics, to measure the chargeability. So if there's metallic sulfides in the earth, when you put currents into the ground, you hope it lights it up, and you see a response. So we're getting a surface information. The next step will be the third dimension. So with the geophysics, electrical geophysics, and then we'll be in a good position then to be able to position some drill holes and test it. What is it?
Well, I know Juan seems super excited. When I spoke to him last night, he's very excited about the potential of what you're seeing there. What I'm excited about is going to the core shack. Should we go?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Yeah.